and welcome to your new moon video for the new moon in Mula Nakshatra, which is going to take place on the 18th of December 2017. The moon will be exact in its nuitude, or new in its exactitude, or something like that, at about 6:30 a.m. UK time. Obviously, you can go online and see the time zone difference. I don't need to tell you that anymore, do I? Right? You can figure that bit out. Okay. Why bother? So why? Just why bother, right? I mean, you just do everything and you put all this effort out for everybody, and just nobody gives you any damned respect, do they? Right? Nobody really just seems to give a toss that you're like, putting tons and tons of effort out and energy out. Nobody just really seems to notice. So why bother? Precisely. Precisely. Maybe, just maybe, you think that bothering is your responsibility. Maybe you think you have to bother. Maybe you've got this huge burden on your shoulder that's actually turning into a huge chip on your shoulder, that really you're the person who put it there in the first place, right? Well, let's see who can take it off. Is it that person over there? No, but you can blame them for not taking it off of your shoulders and making you do everything. Is it that person over there? Nope, and you can blame them too, for making you do everything, right? And chances are you might be doing just a little bit of that, right? Right? Or you can recognize that this is a responsibility that you have placed on your own shoulders. You can just as easily choose to not take on this responsibility. Now, I hear exactly what you're thinking and what you're saying. Well, this is something that I have to do. I don't really have a choice, right? Well, you always have a choice. And yes, right now, that choice may feel like this is something that I have to do. But if you're making that choice, make that choice with love in your heart, and because it's the right thing to do. You don't need somebody to notice you for doing it, do you? Right? So where is that coming from? Well, number one, with this particular new moon cycle, we've got 4 planets lining up in Mula Nakshatra. We've got Saturn, we've got the Sun, we've got the Moon, and we've got Venus. Now, this Moon-Venus connection, right, it's making you feel like your needs aren't being met, right? But really, on a certain level, maybe your pride is hurt, right? Maybe there was something that you were wanting to get out of this situation and you're not getting it. Maybe that something that you were wanting to get out of this situation is a little bit of love, a little bit of attention, which it's quite natural to want those things, right? But you're not always going to get it from outside of yourself. Sometimes you have to give it to yourself, right? Now let's look at this Saturn connection. When Saturn's really close to the sun, it can make you feel like you're just taking on more and more and more, and life really isn't fair, and the universe is out to get you, and it's all somebody else's fault, but really it's your responsibility. The problem is you're seeing things with just such a narrow focus that you can't see anything else except this huge burden that you've got on your shoulders, and how it's not fair that, you're the one who's shouldering this responsibility. But again, it's your responsibility to decide whether or not this is your responsibility. So come on, wake up, right? Just wake up, okay? I know that's a little harsh, but hey, this is Mula Nakshatra, right? And on a certain level, that's what Mula Nakshatra is about. With Mula Nakshatra, sometimes the energy can get so intense and passionate when the ego is trying to push for something that it really, really, really desires, and it's not getting it. It's not getting it. And what eventually happens with that is when it's not getting it, it gets more teed off, right? And it becomes even more aggressive and pushes more and more and more for what it wants until it recognizes that it's not getting it. Until finally, somewhere, bing, the light switches on and you recognize, you understand that, you know what? Something's got to change. And maybe that something that's got to change is me thinking of myself as being the one who kind of has to create this, right? Maybe the way that I'm wanting things to be is wrong. Or maybe it's not necessarily wrong, right? Let's take that statement and let's just kind of dissolve it. Which is, hey, that's what Mula Nakshatra does. It dissolves things. So let's dissolve that statement, right? So you've got Venus traveling in close proximity to the sun. When Venus is close to the sun, when it's combust, which it is at the time of this particular new moon, there's this unanswered cry for love and enjoyment and pleasure out of life that we're just not getting what we want. We're just not getting what we want. And so then we begin to, become a little bit arrogant about that, right? Rather than doing the right thing, which is recognizing our vulnerability and seeing what we can do in order to deal with that vulnerability. Instead, we tend to become very prideful, right? And whatever Venus rules in your chart, you might be becoming very prideful about that particular area of your life around this new moon cycle. Let's say it's about gains in life, your dreams or aspirations, right? You're not getting the recognition for those goals that you want to achieve, right? And so since you are not getting that recognition, you just kind of go sod everybody else. I don't really care. I'm just going to do this. I don't care what gets in my way. I'm not going to let anything get in my way. I'm just going to get what is mine. But it's not yours. It's not, right? And that's the bit that you might have a hard time recognizing. And maybe if you just kind of, with that particular example, if you let go of that need for recognition or validation, maybe you might find that you have what you want right in front of you at that very moment, right? And that's a lot of what a combust Venus is about. It's a level of unhealthy pride that comes from a space of vulnerability, of not feeling that your life is in any way enjoyable, right? And as we were talking about with Saturn feels overburdened. So whatever Saturn rules in your chart, you might be feeling very overburdened in that area. And of course, with the moon, new moon, which is a sun-moon conjunction, your needs just aren't being met. And so there's a huge degree of pride in association with this particular moon. But you're not going to get the answers by trying to take what you're needing in your life by force. That's not going to happen, right? So going back to the beginning where I said, why bother? Maybe you need to put some distance between yourself and those other people that you might feel like you're bothering for, right? And it's not just kind of going, forget everybody else, but initially it might come across like that to you. It's just about going, I need some space. And you do need some space to reflect. And here is the one strong, powerful potential in connection with this new moon. We've got a retrograde Mercury. Now, I know what you're saying. You're going, how can a retrograde Mercury be positive? Don't believe the hype. Just like that old song goes, don't believe the hype, right? Retrograde Mercury, especially the degree that Mercury's at right now, is very powerful, and it's in Jyeshta Nakshatra. And that's going to give you the perspective that's going to allow you to see through to the surface of this situation and see how you've really just been getting in your own damned way and how you don't have to do that anymore. Yes, you do have a choice. You can have a choice to see things differently, right? So if it feels like the world is weighing heavily on your shoulders, right? Well, there is a way that you can help yourself with that burden. You don't have to do all the work yourself. And if you're doing all the work yourself and you're not getting a result, that's a sign that something's perhaps a little bit out of balance, right? I don't know what that out of balance thing is, but you have to figure out what's out of balance, right? So, and if it feels to you like you're not getting the recognition that you deserve for the job that you're doing, right? Then you have to look at whether you feel like you're doing a good job yourself. So all these things require some examination and some reflection. So use this time as we're approaching the solstice soon. Use this time for a little bit of self-reflection. Use this new moon in Mula to get to the root of a situation where you feel like your needs aren't getting met, and see perhaps if you've just been placing too much of a burden on your own shoulders. Yes, you still have responsibilities. Yes, there are things you will still have to do. All of those things are valid, but it's the attitude check. It's the attitude that you're approaching it with. It really makes all the difference in the world. So if you'd like a little bit of help with this particular new moon cycle, I should mention that I do offer several different levels of astrological service. These are available through the astrological services page of my website. You should see a link at the end of this video that will take you directly there. That's going to do it for this look at this particular new moon cycle for the new moon in Mula Nakshatra on the 18th of December, 2017. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.